What's one of the most important lessons that kids can learn in youth sports? Just might be losing. In this video, we're going to talk about how and why that is, so stay tuned for that. What will we be talking about today? One, how losing is connected to resiliency. How can it be connected to character, personal growth, and how we can use losing to help us get a different perspective on what it means to be success or even winning. Those topics and more are what we'll be covering in today's video. For kids, sometimes losing can be really hard. And you know, lots of times I've heard people talk who don't like competition because they say it shouldn't be about winning or losing. And the emotionality of losing is what really drives that. They don't want people to feel that. And quite honestly, these are some of the most competitive people I've met are the ones who are so against competition, but it's because they're so attached to the idea of losing and the emotion of losing, they want to take that off the table. Instead of helping kids understand what that feeling should mean in terms of driving them to be better, to bouncing back. So I'll tell a story of Sam, all right? Again, like middle school age basketball in a tournament. And, you know, it's for this age group and traveling around. This was a big tournament and a big deal against a good team. And here they are, seconds winding down. It's a regional tournament, and the ball comes to Sam. Sam doesn't hesitate, takes the shot, hits the front of the rim. Other team gets a rebound. Game over. Devastated, right? They lost by 1 point. That shot would have won the game. His father comes up and says, hey, man, hey, you had a great game. Proud of you taking the shot. Great job. You just kind of, you know, he's there, right? Just feeling the emotions of that. So they go in the locker room, and the coach had a very important conversation there as he gathered everybody together. And he said, you know, all of you, great game, fantastic. I want to ask you all a question. How many of you missed a shot today? Slowly, every hand went up because everybody did play in that game. And everybody had taken a shot and everybody had missed a shot. He said, no, nobody's going to remember those shots. The one shot people will remember was the last one, and it takes guts to take that last shot. Some people would have gotten that pass and passed it to somebody else because they didn't want to take that shot. But every one of you has what it takes to be that guy, to take that shot in that moment and live with the consequences, make it or not. Jordan, LeBron, Bird, all those guys missed a whole lot of those shots, even more than they made. It's important to remember that. So in that moment of Sam's story, character is being built. Because, and not just for Sam, but the team around, because they begin to understand that they own what they themselves participated in that. So the idea that, yeah, we all miss shots. It is a team game. And we all kept taking shots. There really shouldn't be any difference for that last big shot on that last moment. It's no different than any of the other shots in reality of it, right? It's one of the things I talked about in the building of character and how it translates outside of that. It's about getting up there. In baseball, we use a baseball metaphor all the time. It's about taking your swings, right? It's about the focus. And if you want to begin to think about the idea of resiliency and the character about, hey, I'm just going to keep going, keep trying, keep going at it. When I talk to people about, again, I'm using baseball because some of the streets we talk about, over 500 consecutive chances at shortstop without making an error, 56 consecutive games of getting a hit in a row, right? Oral Hershiser's streak of consecutive scoreless innings. When you throw numbers out associated with that, many people go, man, I don't know if those will ever be broken. Those have lasted 20, 30, 40 years, right? But when you ask this question today, do you believe that you can go out to that field and not make an error? Yes. Do you believe you can go out today for that inning you're going to pitch and not allow a run to be scored? Yeah. Do you believe when you come into this game today, you can get a hit? Yes. When you keep the focus on that one game and that one moment, now all of a sudden the belief that you could potentially get to those bigger numbers seems a lot more doable. But what begins to happen, this is where the character idea comes in, is we begin to allow, as we get further and further along, those ideas that you aren't strong enough, you don't have that ability, you don't have that luck, you don't have these other pieces that are necessary for that to happen. And your character comes in with your ability to be stronger than that and push through that and begin to view those differently. The idea of this focus and character and resilience is all about growth, right? That's what kind of leads to growth. There's this idea of deep practice too. It's just so vitally important. And so many people don't understand is that ability to kind of go back and analyze what didn't work, why you didn't succeed, why you missed that shot, why you struck out, why you made the error. When you begin to break down what happened, that's how you grow and get better. It is more than just about the sport. You grow, get better as a person. This idea, Edwin Moses, who is one of the great 400-meter hurdlers ever, he talks about this very thing in a interview that you guys can probably, you can Google it and find it. But Edwin Moses for 10 years didn't lose a 400-meter hurdle race for 10 years, over 100 races. He didn't lose, like not even come, he won every single one, right? That ability to focus and keep getting better and break down, that's how streaks like that happen, right? That's how growth happens. You can't grow without really failing because you need that experience of failure in order to know what you needed to learn, right? So that's a very important aspect of all of this. For every one of these streaks I just mentioned, there's a whole lot of losing failures that went before those. Failures within games, failures within practice, right? It is not making that ground, feeling that ground ball, right? Not doing that in practice, going, why? What happened, right? Learning from that and then carrying that through into a game is how a streak like that happens. It's, all right, I didn't get this guy out, or I left that ball up so he hit a home run. How do I correct that? How can I manage my emotions in my game state so when I get into the game, I can repeat what I just did that last inning, that last game, that last at bat, the last shot, the last quarter, whatever it may be. Right? This is the essence of what these people who do these great streaks do, is they grow from the previous failures. Edwin Moses might be the greatest example of this, right? From 1977 to 1987, he did not lose a 400-meter hurdle race. For 10 years, he didn't lose over 100 races. That came from having failed and lost and analyzing that and growing from those losses earlier, right? You cannot not get to that point without learning from failures that came beforehand. That's what growth is. Red Auerbach was one of the great NBA coaches of all time and a great uh, general manager for the Celtics for years. And one of the things, particularly back when he was first starting his career and the way the whole selection of players happened in the NBA, was he wanted to select players that were used to winning, even if they weren't necessarily from big programs. He wanted somebody who was used to winning because he understood that people who are used to winning, they understand how to take a defeat, a failure, a loss, and turn that into getting better, growth, resilience, all those other things, right? It's understanding that winning is about getting better and growing and striving for particular goals, striving for an outcome. The winning is a result of all these other things, right? And when you understand that, then success and winning take a whole different light, and one that is much more applicable in life outside of sports, which really is the ultimate lesson. Why sports are so valuable is because they teach you this so that you can then apply it in any other area. And sports teach it to you so effectively and so well. I would love for you guys to make comments on this video, right? We just wrapped up one. Make comments, like this, share this. Anything to kind of get the conversation going will really help. Give me some feedback as well. And I do encourage you, as always, to subscribe to our channel and check out all our other videos and come back and see us again.